Hi folks, today we're going to talk about marking cards in Blackjack, specifically marking cards from the outside of the game. We're going to also talk a little bit about the techniques of how the cards are marked, the purpose of marking cards, and how that information can be used in the game of Blackjack to defeat it. We're also going to dispel the myth that face-up dealt games are safe from the card marker. We'll show you today how cards can be marked in the face-up game to get top card information. I think you'll like our demonstration.
One of the primary reasons for marking cards in Blackjack is to gain a first card advantage. First card advantage or top card play is quite simply knowing what card will be dealt in a round of play. By knowing the first card out, the cheat position to receive the first card can bet accordingly. In the game of Blackjack, if a player's first card is a 2 through to 8, he has a disadvantage over the house. A 9 is neutral, a 10 and an ace give the player a great advantage. Knowing every card would be great advantage, but a cheat who marks cards normally marks the aces and 10s. Obviously, the more cards you try to mark in a live game, the longer and more riskier the scam becomes. A player who knows his first card will be an ace will bet big. Why not? He has a 52% edge. A player who knows he is getting a 10 will bet big as well, as he has a 13% edge. If he has marked all the aces and 10s and knows his first card is either 1, he gains a 21% edge. Here's two simple examples used by cheats to mark cards. In the first one, the cheat uses daub to mark the back of the card in a handheld card game. In the second example, the cheat makes an indentation on the face of the card using the edge of a casino chip while the dealer is completing take and pay procedures. In this case, the cheat uses a combination of quick hands and psychology to make the move. How could the dealer suspect foul play when all the player wanted to do was give him a toke? In countries where tips are not permitted on the gaming table, the same move can be made using a simple request for a colour change. Although the indentation is difficult to pick up, a cheat knows where to angle himself next to the sheet to see the marking on the top card. Professional cheaters who mark cards at Blackjack will often add one other weapon to the arsenal, the anchorman. Positioned on third base and betting small, the anchorman may use knowledge of the marked cards for hit and stand decisions in an attempt to bust out the dealer. In this example, the cheats have marked 10s and 9s. 9s are neutral, but are a good bust-out cards for dealers. Knowing the dealer has a 9 or 10 in the hole, and the next card to be dealt is a 9 or 10, the anchorman sits on a soft 16 against the dealer's 4-up card. Surprise, surprise, the dealer busts and everybody wins.
My primary tip today regarding marked cards is to dispel the myth that the cards are marked so the player can use the information by himself to make hit-stand decisions. This might have been the case in the 60s and possibly 70s, but the professional card marker does not do this. He plays at the top card or anchor play.
A lot of you are going out there at the moment and buying the new plastic cards. They're pretty good with protecting against bends and crimps, but they can still be daubed.
In most situations, it's almost impossible for you to detect marked card plays by looking at the cards themselves. What you want to do is you want to look at characteristics of play. Take top card, for example. If a player marks cards for top card information, they're going to make a big bet off the top of the shoe. When there's a 10 or an ace in the window, what you want to look for is a correlation between a 10 and ace appearance and a big bet by the first player.
Okay, when it comes to preventing cheats from marking cards at Blackjack, don't forget the discard rack, okay? We all know it takes a long time to mark all the necessary aces and 10s to gain advantage. But here's a scenario to think about. Dealer deals a player at Blackjack, pays the player, takes the ace and 10 and discards them in the rack. Any cheat that's sitting on third base, every now and then may have an opportunity to lean over the discard rack and mark either the ace and 10. It's a quicker way to mark all the cards.
Some of you casino executives use either a faceplate or a curtain over the front of your shoe to protect your cards. That's a good thing, but be sure that your equipment does its job. Be sure that your faceplates and your curtains are maintained and clean. If a cheater can see at least an eighth of a card at the bottom of the shoe, he can attack your game successfully.
To my mates outside the US that deal Blackjack without a hole card, don't be lured into a false sense of security when it comes to marked cards. In actual fact, when the dealer gets his second card after all the players get their cards, this can give an opportunity to a guy on third base, or the anchor man who has knowledges of tens and aces, to steer the outcome of the game by making the dealer's hand bustable.